Hey guys, today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a rotator, a mini rotating cuff. So first start with a 1mm stretch cord. If you have the option for stretch cord, I do recommend it because it's very stretchy and it doesn't dry rot as easy as the clear elastic. Now this is very, very good for charms and other stuff like that, but it's not as stretchy as I would like it to be, so I don't use it for rotators or other cuffs. So start with this, and you want to get the colors. If it helps you get the colors in advance and ahead of time, set them out. So first, what you want to do is gather both sides so that none of them are empty. And then what you want to do is you want to put this on here. Now that is going to be your first stopper bead, and you're going to find out what a stopper bead is in about 2 seconds. So we have one on there, and then you're going to put 2 beads of any color. So you have that on there, and then you're going to do that 10 times, and I'm going to show you how to close it off. But first, I'm going to show you a couple more times. One. Now, I am a very, very slow weaver, so it is a little slower than I would like it to be. So if you don't really like that, go to some other tutorial channel if you would like, because I can recommend some pretty good YouTubers, like for instance Stego Doodle, or you can find something on TikTok. So start. You're gonna do this as many times as you want, really, but I like to do it 10 times for my wrist size. So I have 4 stopper beads on there right now. So I'm gonna go up to 10, and I'm gonna pause the video. And this is where you normally pause the video and come back when you're ready. And now when you have this, you're going to want to tie it off like a normal kandi single. You're going to do this a couple times, but don't tie it too tight to the point where you can't stretch it. You want some type of stretch to it, and that's the point of tying it off, so that there still is some stretch and you can pull the peaks as tight as you want without losing the tightness around the wristband. Now I'm going to tie this off 4 or 5 times. You can do it as many as you want, just so you have that secureness. And I'm going to cut my baby end off and make sure that big end is not in the way so I don't accidentally snip that. And I am going to get my string ready. When you tie it off, you want to make sure your string is between a stopper and between these 2 beads here. If it is between these 2 beads here, then you're going to want to weave it over into this stopper bead. like not into it, but into the bead next to it so that it's sticking out like that. And you are going to get 3 beads of any color, mainly matching the color theme that you're going with, and you're just going to start putting it on there. Put it on the string in any order what you would like, but I am doing orange because orange is one of my favorite colors. And I am going to put it on there, and make sure when you do this, it is not going over a bead like that. It's going the way that it's coming out of the bead. So now that I have that done, I'm going to take my string and I'm going to weave it into my next stopper bead. Just like that. Oh, my scissors got stuck in there. Yep, make sure you don't leave your scissors in there too. And tying the single off makes it so that you can pull this as tight as you want, which is what I really love about rotators. So we're starting off making a simple X-base cuff and that is basically a rotator is basically an X-base cuff that has bumpers on it. So we're gonna add the bumpers when we're ready. Sorry about that. I had to get some new beads so that I can finish making this. And then just like how we did that, we're going to do that again and again until we reach the end. Oh my god, I shouldn't have moved the camera around, because I can't fix that in any way, because I don't know how to edit very well. So we're gonna put one of those on, and then we put the same pattern as the 3 we just did, like that. And then we're gonna do it again and go into the next stopper bead. Now I'm going to show you one more time, but if you think you already have the hang of it, you can fast forward a little bit, because I am a pretty fast weaver. Well, not really. Only when I want to be. And then I'm gonna do that. Now, if you are learning from me, this is where you're going to pause the video and come back when you're ready. Okay, so now I'm going to weave it up into this stopper bead right here, but I'm also going to weave it into this bead and this bead to have it right here at the point. That's where we want it. But first, if you did not pull already, that is very, very good to do. Oh. You kind of want to pull to keep your shape of the rotator cuff. Don't pull so tight. Don't be like, meh, because you don't want to snap the string. So, now what you want to do is you want to go into that next stopper bead, or point, or whatever you want to call it. And you're just going to want to go up to that point there messed up because it got kind of tangled, but that's okay. I can easily untangle it. So now we have the start of our X base cup. Now we're gonna finish the little points, if that makes sense. So you don't want to go this way so that it's overlapping the bead that you came out. You want to come this way. So now what you want to do is you want to get 3 beads of any color. But if you want to go back to these middle beads, you're going to use that color. Or if you want to use the color of your bumper beads, if that makes sense, which are the little points that come out of the rotator. So if you want to use the colors of that, which you are going to use, you're just going to do that when I'm done showing you. So what I am going to use is some light colors and some dark colors, because lately I've been obsessed with those. And yeah. You can fast forward if you would like, because right now I'm just kind of preparing the beads that I need. It'll only take a second though. So now I have the beads that I need. And now what you want to do is you want to put on 3 colors of any kind. Most people like to match them to this, but I'm not going to do that. Actually, yes, I am. I've decided I am going to do that. Okay, I have more beads. My bed is a mess because I am doing this on my bed. But that's okay, because sometimes you have to make messes to be happy. And you are going to weave it into the next point, but make sure you are not overlapping the bead. You are going in the direction that the string came out of your last bead. So take that, and you want to pull it tight, but not too tight, because then the string will snap. Just like that. Well, that. And this is where our X base is going to start forming. I am going to do this a couple more times. So you're going to do it in the same exact pattern that you just did. Okay? Okay. And if anyone could please let me know how to send a channel link, because my friend wants me to teach her how to make a rotator, but I don't really feel like teaching her in person because it takes 2 hours to make a rotator. And I just don't want to sit there for 2 hours and just show her. So if anyone could please tell me how to send link to channel, and you're gonna have the beads like that. And this is the last time that I'm going to show you how to do this. So the next point over, make sure you are not overlapping the beads. And there you go. You pull, and then you want to pull tight, but not too tight. Give it like a medium tug. And that's when our X base is going to start to form. And I'm going to do this all the way around. So if you are following along, then this is where you would pause the video and come back when you are ready. And sorry about that, I was watching a video while weaving because I got bored in the silence. And you want to make sure it's stretchy enough for you, and it should look like that one stretched. And then you want to pull it tight enough, but make sure it's stretchy enough to get on your wrist like that. This part is not done yet because you need to, and I'm going to show you how to finish this. So whichever your next point was, wherever it was, you're going to weave in. This was my point here. You're going to weave in to that point there, but you are also I'm going to weave into my point, and then I'm going to do the neighboring bead and up through this point like we did before, and then I'm going to pull. So then we have that. Now it is still not completely done, but we are close. So now to close off our X base cuff, we're gonna add 2 beads of any color, but only 2. And we're gonna do like we did, and we're going to weave in to the points, and I'm gonna show you this 3 times, and then I'm gonna let you go. Now make sure you are only doing 2, so it should look something like this. And if you want it to match down here, you should do the colors of that. Now you can only do this with pony beads. That is the only thing this will work with. Otherwise it will not work, and it will screw up your whole entire day. Well, I can't say whole entire day, but it will definitely screw up your mood now. The reason why I am not doing it the same colors is because I don't have the beads. And I don't know why I made it orange. That was a very dumb decision. That's okay, because it's gonna get covered by the bumpers when we make them. Comment down below if there are any other, like tutorials or anything you want to see, like a star, carousel cuff. I can make carousel cuffs, and I have made one before. I actually just finished one yesterday. And for instance, here are some of the things that I made. Like, I made a star glove. I made a carousel cuff with a little poppet attached to it, which I still love, and this is the one that I finished yesterday. And I made a little chopstick holder. I saw these all over Reddit, and I just had to make one. And what I mean by I saw them all over Reddit is I saw the carousel cuffs all over Reddit. I am proud to say this, but I did get the chopstick idea from Stegodoodles, which is another candy YouTuber. So if you don't like my tutorials, you have a whole bunch of other selection to go to, which is fine. because honestly, she is such a good YouTuber. She is part of the reason that inspired me to create my own channel. And anyways, we're gonna weave into that point there. And now, this is the point where you would pause the video and come back when you are ready. And a place where you could find me, this has nothing to do with the rotator at this moment, but a place where you could find me and kind of buy some of my stuff is Jacktown Flea Market in Pennsylvania. And it's literally in the town called Jacktown, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you, and come back when you are ready. And now I'm going to show you how to close it off. And now, with your 2 beads, you're gonna go into, wait, hold up, sorry. You're gonna go into your last point here. And you are not gonna go into those 2 beads. Just that last point. And if you pull these 2 up and you see that loop, you want to go through it with your string. And that's going to create a loop over here. And you're going to put your string through that loop and pull. If that makes sense. It's going to look a little weird. And I'm going to do that 3 or 4 times. Now we have our simple X-base cuff, and if you like it like this, you can just keep it like this. But if you want a rotator, then you add the bumpers and you make a single. And that's what I'm going to show you next. And you don't have to tie it off, but if you want to keep the point shape, and when I make those points, I'm going to be pulling pretty tight. So I want to do this in order to make sure that they are not going to get messed up and it's not going to make the bracelet part tight. It needs to be stretchy like this, not like so you can pull it like that, okay? You are going to need 5 beads of any color for this. So I'm going to go ahead and add on my 5 beads. This is a Shrimpo themed rotator because I love Shrimpo. And he deserves to be in a rotator. So I have my 5 beads on there like that, and I'm just gonna let it drop. Just gonna let it drop till it meets the end there. And then what I'm gonna do is make sure my beads are not overlapping the bead that it's coming out of. So it's going to go over these 2 beads here, and it's going to go into that one right there. I'm sorry if the quality of this video is terrible because I am filming on my laptop because my phone is dead. And no, I am not an iPad kid. It's just like freaking 9:16 at night, and I was on it a lot today researching stuff. And I did go to Hot Topic and took a little trip. I got a Miku pin. I got 5 shirts between Spencer's, Hot Topic, and Five Below. Got 3 Gur shirts. I got 1 Gorilla shirt. I got 1 My Chemical Romance. I got 1 Steven Universe. And I wish I would have gotten a freaking My Little Pony or Murder Drones. And I get that I'm older, but like, it's still so likable. So it should look like that when you're done with your 5 beads. And I'm gonna do that all the way around this first part here. So come back when you're done. We are going to weave it into that very first stopper bead that we started on for the last peak. And we're gonna pull. And we're gonna pull tight and make sure all of the peaks are tight to somewhere that we would like them. Because remember, it does not matter how someone else likes it as long as you like it the way that it is, depending on if you're gonna sell it or not. Because if you're gonna sell it, then you might want it to be a little tighter or a little looser. But you don't want it to be flappy like this. You don't want it to be flappy. You want it to be, here's a good example, you want it to be like that. But we do need to do the other side. So we are not gonna tie this off. We are going to weave it down diagonally from the bead that we are on. So bead 1, bead 2, might get a little caught there on the actual rotator itself. That's why you want to maneuver it. Bead 3. And you just want to keep weaving at a diagonal. It's getting caught on my remote. Okay. I'm listening to music when I am pausing it to finish this. So that's why my remote's right there. And also, I paused the music so that I would not get copyrighted, because YouTube would be on my butt if they heard music in my background. Anyways, and I'm going to pull so that that last little peak there is good. And we have all these done down here, and it looks nice so far. And that's what it looks like so far, but it's not done yet. We still have a whole other side. Now we are going to make sure that it's not overlapping the bead we came out of. We're gonna go this way. And we are going to do the same exact thing that we did on the bottom, but on the top. So, what I am going to do, since I only showed you once on the other side, I'm going to show you again how I did the peak. So you're gonna start by putting the first bead on of your 5 beads, and then the second one, and then the third one, and then the fourth one, and the fifth. And then what you are going to do is you are going to make sure it is not overlapping that bead, and you're going to go into your next stopper bead and go through and pull. And you are going to do that all the way around until you have completed your rotator. And then I'm going to show you how to tie it off and how to make the single. So now that we have them all done and we have our last set of beads loaded on, we are going to go into the stopper bead. The last stopper bead that we actually started on. So we're gonna go through there. We're gonna go through there, through there, through there, have it tightened like this, so I'm gonna try my best not to like let it not be tightened. So once you have it tightened to somewhere that you like it, you want to hold it like that so that when you tie it off, it doesn't lose that tightness and be floppy. So that's what I'm doing. While I'm tying it off, I'm gonna keep it tight, and I'm gonna go like that. Oh, what happened there? And then I'm gonna do that for like 3 or 4 times to tie off my cuff completely. And then we are going to be done with the bracelet part. Then we're gonna weave it through that loop like we did before. Now I am going to tie it off one last time, and then I'm going to make my single. And just like that, we are one step being closer to making our rotator. Now make sure you kind of weave the knot over so you can hide it. Any loose pieces, string or anything like that, you kind of want to hide. So weave it over like that, and we have that part done. And now what we are going to do is make our single so that it rotates. And we have this long piece of string left to use. So I'm just going to use the rest of the beads that I have out to make a single. It's going to be a little bigger than you have for a wrist because it has to fit around this. This is what it should look like when done. Now, of course, it's not going to be the exact colors unless you are following along with me. But this is the rotator that I made. And of course, if it's your first one, it's not going to be the best thing you ever made. It's not going to be the best thing in the world, but it's going to look something like this. So anyways, bye y'all, have a good day, and these spots at Jacktown only on Saturday will I be selling are 49 and 53. I meant 49 and 50, not 53. Sorry, I'm tired. It's 10 o'clock. So anyways, bye guys. Mwah.